Hello friends, I am Dr. Rupnik Trivedi, Interventional Cardiologist at Zydus Hospital, London, and today I am going to talk to you about heart disease and what are the preventive strategies we have to adopt to prevent the heart disease. Now, first of all, let me tell you one thing, that a lot of my friends from schools and a lot of people who visit or a lot of relatives who visit to me, they always say, doctor, when to visit a cardiologist, what is the intervention cardiologist, and what are the symptoms? Should we come directly to you, or should we go to the physician and then come to you? So I'll give you one important thing. What are the symptoms, which are the important symptoms or the cardinal symptoms of the heart disease? That will give you an idea that you should visit the super specialist. So the heart symptoms, particularly if we talk, first and a very important symptom is the chest pain. The chest pain, particularly left-sided precordial, which may radiate to the left side of the arm, can go to the neck, can go to jaw. Sometimes it is on the right side of the back. If it is associated with the perspiration, or it gets precipitated by some exertion like walking or climbing stairs or doing some strenuous activity, when you stop doing that activity, the pain disappears. That is called as anginal pain. So that is a very important symptom. And generally, when you stop doing your exercise or exertion, the pain generally goes away in 10 to 15 minutes. But if it lasts more than 30 minutes, there is something wrong with your heart, and you should immediately consult a nearby hospital or cardiologist. So the first symptom is the chest pain. Second is a dyspnea on exertion or a breathlessness. So you yourself can observe that previously you used to walk and climb stairs, but now you feel some breathless, you have to stop. You are dying for the fresh air. If that kind of symptoms are present, or when you go to bed, immediately after lying and after 2 to 3 hours you feel breathless, start coughing, and you have to take rest with the help of a pillow, that is a cardiac symptom. So the third symptom is the giddiness or syncope. Syncope can occur while standing, while sitting, or while walking or doing some exertion. The fourth symptoms is a palpitation. So palpitation is generally any human or any normal person is not getting aware of his heartbeats, but palpitation is you yourself feel that there is something abnormal, beating or pumping sensation or thumping sensation is happening to your heart or inside the neck. So that is a very important sign. That means your heart rate is going up, maybe irregular or regular, or sometimes a very low heart rate also can give rise to a palpitation. So these are very important 4 symptoms. Fifth symptom may be a pedal edema, but edema can have a different other etiologies. So the first 4 symptoms, the chest pain, breathlessness, or when you lie down to bed you feel breathless, so that is a breathlessness as rest. You have a syncope or a giddiness, or you have a palpitation. These are the 4 important symptoms. These 4 symptoms generally gives a clue that you have some heart disease. Now, when we talk about heart disease, it's a very vague term, I would like to say, because heart has 4 different components. So this is a model of the heart, and you can see that heart is situated like this in the left side of the precordial cavity. When we say a heart attack or a coronary artery disease, it is these red color vessels which are the arteries which supply blood to the heart. So most of the time when we say heart disease or coronary artery disease or attack, that means there is some deposition of cholesterol in the vessel. So normally your coronary arteries are like this, as the aging process occurs or you have a risk factor, the cholesterol deposition occurs inside your lumen and that obstructs the vessel. If it is up to this or this situation, as I mentioned, you exert and you develop pain, but you have pain lasting for more than 30 minutes. Suddenly in the morning you get perspire, drenched out, you are not feeling well. Maybe you are suffering from myocardial infarction, that means your artery is almost totally occluded, and immediately go and get an ECG done. So that is a coronary artery disease, that is component number 1. The second heart disease, again it can give rise to breathlessness, palpitation or chest pain. That is the involvement of the either valves or the muscles. So that can give us your valvular heart disease or a cardiomyopathy. So this is the second component of heart disease. Third component of the heart disease is the arrhythmias. Arrhythmias means normally your heartbeat starts from here, it goes down to both the chambers of the heart. If your heartbeat origin changes from a normal position to a atrium that is in a different position, maybe on this side, you feel a palpitation. That is a different problem. So a heart disease has almost, I taught you, a three element. And the fourth element is sometimes a congenital heart disease. That means by birth you had some defect. So this is the lower part of the septum. Septum generally separates the two chambers of the heart. If that chamber has some defect, that is called as ventricular septal defect, or upper part has a defect, that is called as atrial septal defect. Or you can have a different origin of this great arteries arising from both the ventricles. So this condition is called as a congenital heart disease. So you can have a congenital heart disease, you can have arrhythmia problem, you can have a valve disease or myopathies, or you can have coronary artery disease. And the basic investigations for all these tests are very simple. That is, first you have to go to your cardiologist or physician, get an ECG done. From ECG, one will get an idea whether your disease is involving the muscles, valves, arrhythmias, or maybe a congenital heart disease. Maybe on a clinical examination we will give you further information. Then he will advise you to get an echo done. Echo is basically a sonography of the heart, and we can see that by echo mode this heart on a TV screen, normal TV screen, and from that you can have some idea whether your valves, whether your muscles are normal or not. Coronary arteries and arrhythmias cannot be detected on echocardiogram. It may help you to diagnose certain conditions. Sometimes some conditions are overlapping. You have a coronary artery disease, you have a muscle mass disease because of your previous attack. So you have a heart failure, that is a muscle pump disease. You have a coronary artery disease, this is involved into the artery. Sometimes you have congenital heart disease, you have not been detected, now your chambers are dilated and you have a muscle problem, you have a valve problem, you have a arrhythmias, and over a period because of aging, you have a coronary artery disease. So everything can be an isolated or can be an overlapping. And then a cardiologist or expert in the field will help you to diagnose the disease. Now, first and foremost, the most commonest disease we generally encounter is a coronary artery disease, and most of the time we are worried. See, India or the Southeast Asian people are the one who has the highest number of coronary artery disease and heart attacks in the world, and we carry this gene even though we migrated somewhere else. Even you stay in Europe, in USA, if you are Asian gene or Indian gene, you are prone to develop coronary artery disease much more earlier than your peer colleagues. Now, why this happens? What are the risk factors for the coronary artery disease? And we all are very much worried about the coronary artery disease. So the risk factors for the coronary artery disease are, some are modifiable risk factors and some are non-modifiable. So the age cannot be modified. So age and a family history are two important risk factors which are non-modifiable. But there are certain modifiable risk factors like hypertension, diabetes, smoking, stress, dyslipidemia, cholesterol abnormalities, your obesity, you have a very high abdominal girth, you have a visceral obesity. So these are the risk factors which can give rise to a dyslipidemia, gradual cholesterol deposition, and the heart attack. Now, when you develop a heart attack, most of the time the people come to you and the people or the relatives, they are very much perplexed that the doctor is saying that this is heart attack without doing an angiogram. So let me tell you one thing, if you have a heart attack, your ECG is definitely going to be abnormal. Only 1 to 5% of cases can have a chest pain, myocardial infarction, but no ECG changes, and this makes a diagnostic dilemmas. But 95% of the patients have a ECG changes mostly, and then with that ECG you just come to know that this patient has whether he has a left-sided heart disease, this is a right-sided heart disease, that is based on ECG only. We advise angioplasty directly to those patients who have this kind of coronary artery. That means if we have a coronary artery totally occluded and the thrombus formation is there, then and then he will develop a ST elevation myocardial infarction. So when somebody talks about the attack, it has a two different components. First is ST elevation MI component, the second is the non-ST elevation MI component. which was a previous classification. Now we broadly classify into acute coronary syndrome. Acute coronary syndrome with ST elevation, acute coronary syndrome without ST elevation but had a troponin positive, and you have unstable angina. So you have unstable angina means your troponin, which is very important marker which we generally ask the patient to get an investigation done, and it is generally available in 30 to 45 minutes. If it is positive, that means your muscles are damaged. If your muscles are damaged, they will go into the blood and help you to diagnose a myocardial infarction. So always ask your doctor that there are some ECG changes present or not. If he says yes, there are ECG changes, whether it is ST elevation or non-ST elevation. If it is ST elevation, it becomes an emergency. You immediately go for angioplasty. What we do in angioplasty is guided here by this. We go in the artery. If the artery is blocked, we pass the wire, inflate a balloon, and put the stent. Stent is a metal-like material, and which opposes to your coronary arteries and allow the blood to flow very smoothly. Now the stents are different types. They are made up of stainless steel. They can be made up of platinum chromium, cobalt chromium, or maybe absorbable stents. At the time of emergency, I'll help you. I'll tell you one important thing, that if you are in emergency, if you have some financial issue, first thing is get an angioplasty done, whatever stents or whatever your financial capacity is. I've seen a lot of patients, they just think whether to go for this kind of stent, absorbable stent, non-absorbable stent, and then it gets messed up. So don't make this mistake to your family members. If it is an ST elevation MI, make sure that your angioplasty is done on right side, because in heart, in cardiology, there is an important word that is called as time is muscle. If you get your angioplasty done, if you have a normal blood flow as early as possible, your muscles are saved, and your muscles are saved, you can prevent heart attack. Thank you.